Hi guys, Darth Meteos here, and I'm going to explain exactly what rooting will do for your device. And then I'll explain, and I'm not going to explain how to root in this video, so there'll be a video up on Monday, so depending on what time zone you're in, it might be Sunday, but Sunday or Monday, depending on the time zone. I'm in Australia. And I'm going to put up a root tutorial then, but right now I'm going to explain why you should root your phone. Rooting your phone is an extremely good idea because it allows you to do a heap of stuff you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Rooting the phone is like becoming an administrator on a Windows 7 computer, if that's a good analogy. It gives you all the administrative privileges, it gives you the ability to do more with your phone, and basically, it gives you the access to what you could call the control panel, which is super user. Which makes you the super user. It's not the super user. Super user is that app that you get immediately after you root your phone. And super user basically is you can allow apps that wouldn't be allowed to run otherwise. As you can see, I'm currently on the super user app menu, which has allowed me to do Titanium Backup, for example, which allows me to back up my files. Screencast, which is what I'm using right now to bring this video to you, so you can record what's on the screen. You can record calls. You're going to need to root your device for that. I actually have one of those apps, I just haven't had a chance to use it, so it's not on this menu. You can block ads, which is, well, frankly, anyone wants that. It saves you the trouble of buying for getting rid of advertisement. And I use AdAway, which is my favorite. Get into that later. And Lucky Patcher, which lets you crack things and... Well, cracking a file basically means you can unlock it without actually paying the price. It's sort of like what you can do with PowerAmp, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll explain about that in a later video as well. Sort of just building it up. But this is what root is. Root is basically everything you could want to do on a phone. Root gives you access to different things that would otherwise be unavailable, as I said before, and I'm going to show some of them to you now. For example, you can move apps from your phone to your SD card. Now, Samsung, or most other Android things that don't allow this, say themselves, well, if it's on the SD card, it's going to be much slower. Which is true. It is going to be a lot slower, but the internal memory of most phones, including this Galaxy, which has some of an bigger than usual one, I filled it up pretty quickly. You see my Alchemy Classic is on my SD card, but I can move it to my phone whenever I want. I'll move it to my SD card to free up space, because the market, no matter what you do, there might be a way, I'm not sure of it yet. If I find it, I'll tell you about it. But the market, by default, downloads apps to your internal memory rather than your SD card. If you put an app in your SD card, it will be slowed down, but it will free up space. So that's always worth doing, I guess. It depends on what you're looking for. Speed or what. For example, I might put a game like, I don't know, Angry Birds, because that's not that complex. And I could put that in my SD card and it would be much trouble. But then we've got a game like The Sims, which uses a lot of stuff, or Grand Theft Auto 3. And if I put that on my SD card, it'd be almost impossible to play. So I'd have to put that on my phone. But yeah, that's pretty obvious anyway. Just over-explaining myself. Root also allows you to do other things, such as when you put your phone into recovery mode, which I'll explain later when I get a decent camera on Monday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Root allows you to do different things in recovery mode, such as wiping your Davik cache. Just allows you to install custom ROMs. Custom ROMs are like different operating systems for your phone. Kinda, sorta. It's kinda difficult to explain. It's much better explained on other websites, which I'll put a link in the description. Exactly what is a ROM, that'll take too much time. And it also allows you to upgrade your phone in different ways. Overclocking is one of the most famous things to do with your rooted phone. Overclocking, essentially, I use the Semaphore kernel. If you don't know what a kernel is, I'll also put a link in the description. So I have a Semaphore manager for it. Overclocking is basically how fast you can make your phone go. This can cause serious problems. I don't really overclock all that much because my phone is, well, fast enough as it is. Also, I'm a little bit afraid. I haven't done much on overclocking, but there's other people on YouTube who do overclocking tutorials and what to do with overclocking. If I ever get around to overclocking my phone or looking into those functions in my phone, I will put up a video about it, but right now I'm just, it's just not the highest thing on my list right now. Of course, if you request an overclocking tutorial, I'd be happy to do it. But, requests aside, I probably won't do it for a while at least. But overclocking is a worthwhile thing to do with it if your phone's slower. If you have like a Captivate that is fairly old, well, by smartphone standards, yeah, it does all different things. It can, most of this probably looks like techno speak if you're not really into phones like me. I'm just sort of learning about it myself as I make these. But it does a lot of stuff that could be quite useful. If you think of something, Root will your phone can't currently do, Root will probably allow you to do it. That's the best part about it. And it also allows you to, as I said, my Magic Pen tutorial, it allows you to use the Root Explorer, which allows you to go into the phone's deepest memory banks, which is always a good idea. Trust me, if you're like me and you always want to find a way around paying money. But yeah, that's basically what Root can do. If I've forgotten something, I'll add it on later. But yeah, Root's pretty awesome. And if you feel the need to have more control over your phone, Root does it. But there's always a but. There's always a catch. The thing is rooting your phone and playing around with the settings, if you make a mistake, your phone will brick. A bricked phone is basically a phone that will not turn on, black screen of death, blah 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 blah, boot loop, all those kinds of things. I bricked my phone. First time I wanted to root, same day I bricked my phone. Didn't get it out for a month, and as a result, I'm much more cautious about what I do with Root ever since I got it back going. And now that it's going, I'm taking much better care of it. It's on Ice Cream Sandwich, so I've definitely gotten better at it. So yeah, just show Root respect, show your phone respect, because the settings you are dealing with are the deepest workings of your phone, and if they screw up, it can cause serious issues. You may even have to send it in for repairs, which is always a terrible, terrible idea, because especially after you root your phone, or start messing around after you root your phone, it will void the warranty on your phone, which is not a good idea, kinda, sorta. Root is seriously worth it if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then every single time you think of doing something, you go on the internet and you check it out before you do it. And, of course, almost all of us has bricked the phone at least once, if they're a budding power root person who wants to get the maximum out of their phone, like me. If you play around with it too much, you will eventually brick your phone, but it's not that difficult to get it out of brick. I'm considering doing a tutorial on how to unbrick a phone and deliberately brick my phone and then unbrick it. Of course, that might be a little bit rash, but, if I ever brick my phone again by mistake or whatever, I will do a tutorial on how to unbrick GT i9000, which is my phone. If I ever get into contact with another phone, I will brick it immediately. That's actually a really bad idea. Sorry. If I ever come into contact with another phone that is bricked and the owner has no idea what to do with it, I'll do a tutorial about that. But all in all, just hope that your phone doesn't get bricked. Is the general consensus. You just don't want to brick your phone. And so I did ramble on a bit there, but you know, if you root your phone, if and when, I hope you'll root your phone. It's really worthwhile. But if you root your phone, be very careful with it, because Androids break internally much easier than an iPhone breaks externally, if you know what I mean. It's pretty fragile, so be careful with it. And that's about all I got to say, I think. Yeah, that's about it. Well, be sure to subscribe, because I'll be doing a lot more tutorials, especially on the GT i9000, which is my phone of choice. If you have a GT i9000, then this is the channel for you, and I will be uploading videos as soon as I can, as often as I can, about the different things that a GT i9000 will do, different apps that you might be interested in. I've got quite a few of them now. But yeah, so, end of the day, root is a good idea, just treat it with caution. Okay.